Sup, it's Johnny. Recently, due to an attack on a Mormon church that happened recently, I've been hearing a lot more people talk about Mormonism, and posts like this one right here, that are basically saying that Mormons are Christians, and Mormons do claim to be part of Christianity, which is why I think this is an important thing to talk about. Me being a Christian myself, a very avid Jesus lover, warrior for Christ if you will, I'm here to give a Christian perspective on Mormonism. Of course, I'm not going to be going over what happened with that whole attack. It's a terrible situation, terrible thing that happened. I've been praying for everybody involved, and I do hope that they're able to recover from this. But I think it's important to clear the air on what Mormonism is, and if it really is Christianity or not. Because no, Mormons are not Christians. Mormons' core beliefs are based on the Bible, but the more research you do into it, the farther detached it gets from the actual teachings of Jesus, which is what Christianity is entirely based on. It's in the name, Christianity. To prove why Mormonism isn't Christian or really biblical at all, here we have the definition for Christianity, which is the religion based on the person and teachings of Jesus of Nazareth, or its beliefs and practices. This is the bare minimum that a group of people need to do to be counted as a denomination of Christianity, is to believe and follow the teachings of Jesus, which, as we'll get into, the Mormons don't really do at all. The main thing that's different is the biggest teaching of Jesus in general, which is Jesus' claim to be the Son of God, to be God, being one of the Trinity, which Mormons kind of reject the idea of the Trinity, and they just think that Jesus was just a normal dude who then was exalted, which basically means to them that he went from human to God, which isn't really how it worked. It's kind of the opposite, actually. Jesus was brought down, humbled himself to a human, 100% human, 100% God, and died on the cross for our sins. So that's the biggest difference by far. As we can see here, this verse, John 8:58, is Jesus claiming to be God. It says, "Before Abraham was born, I am," which kind of just like derails all of Mormonism, or at least all of Mormonism being biblical, unless you just want to disregard this verse. But then there's also 2 Corinthians 11:4, where it says, "For if someone comes to you and preaches a Jesus other than the Jesus we preached, or if you receive a different spirit from the spirit you received, or a different gospel from the one you accepted, you put up with it easily enough." Basically saying, don't trust any false teachings that aren't from, like the Bible, because there are a lot of people who've tried to do false teachings, which is basically what Mormonism is. Here we have this tweet that is just a few of the things that Mormons believe. If Jesus was created as a human like us, which, as we already went over, that's an unbiblical idea. It says we too can become gods, which is also an unbiblical idea, as we were created in the image of God. They also believe that in heaven they'll get planets full of virgins, which is definitely an interesting belief, I guess. Hey, a little editor's note. I don't know why I just skipped over that. Just acted like it's no big deal that they celebrate polygamy, which is very much a sin in the Bible. And the fact that their belief of heaven is just giant planets of polyamory and just sexualizing women is kind of insane. Jesus even says on the Sermon on the Mount about how sexual immorality and lustful thinking is still really bad, obviously. So, just thought I'd add a little bit onto that since I was editing, and yeah, let's get back to learning about Mormonism, I guess. They also believe that Jesus and Lucifer were brothers, which isn't true because Jesus is God, he's not an angel. They also believe that Jesus made his second coming to America, which doesn't really make much sense. It makes more sense knowing the person who came up with Mormonism, which was a guy back in the 1800s living in America. And they also believe that Native Americans are the true Israelites, because they believe that the Book of Mormon was found like buried underneath America or something. So yeah, long story short, Mormons are not Christians. Very unchristian beliefs and unbiblical beliefs. Not very based. I've also seen other tweets of people saying that Mormonism is a cult. I'm not entirely sure if that's true. I haven't done too much research into it. I did some research for this video to improve my knowledge a little bit, but if anyone else is any more knowledgeable on this subject, definitely make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And this video wasn't at all to lessen the damage of what happened, because that attack is still terrible. It's very sad. Continue to keep praying for those people, by the way, guys. They definitely need our prayers right now as they're going through that tough situation. And as we can see also on screen, this is a little animation, I guess. Mormon animation. I don't really have much of an idea what's going on. It's just kinda there. Mormonism is basically just the trust me bro religion. Joseph Smith, the guy who originally came up with it, claimed to have found the book buried, the fully golden book or whatever, with engravings on it. He claimed to have translated it himself through God's help, I guess. But no one else is allowed to see the book. He's the only one allowed to see the book. So you just gotta trust him, bro. That's basically the origin of Mormonism. In the most basic Johnny way to explain it, that's how Mormonism was created. Also, one last thing I wanted to say, and the biggest reason why I count Mormonism as its own religion and not part of Christianity, is because it's basically just like a splinter religion of Christianity, much like how Islam is. And Islam is obviously not Christianity, therefore Mormonism isn't either. I'm sorry to any Mormons out there, but you guys are a little too far removed from the Bible to be counted as a denomination. Oh, and also if you guys haven't already, then you should definitely join the Discord. We have a lot of fun discussion in there and we hang out a lot and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, in conclusion, Jesus is God the Son, God incarnate, and if anyone says otherwise, then they can't claim to be Christian. And that's about it for this video. Thank you all for coming to my yap session, and I'll see you guys all eventually. See ya!